Oh, hello there.
Hey, hey, motherfuckers!
Looks like it's time for another frickin' bat rep. I'm using Orcs again, and this time I face Black Templars for the first time. Let's take a look at the rosters. I'm trying out some new units, including a fair few squigs.
Big magnificent animals.
First up is the beast boss on Squigosaur. He's tooled up to be extremely tough to kill, and to be honest he's a bit nuts.
He's a psychopathic killer, but so what? There's plenty of them around.
I also have 2 units of 3 Squighog boys. I wasn't intending to field these, as I really don't like the official models, but I found these awesome third-party miniatures on eBay. They're designed by Bulwark Gaming, and I got the models from Battle Prince UK. They're called Beast Riders. Check them out. A lot cheaper than the GW models, even easier to assemble, and they look way better in my opinion. They just don't have the little Gretchen at the back, but that's one of the things I disliked about the GW ones anyway. Finally, I have a whole bunch of Mega Knobs, converted from ogres. I think they look frickin' awesome personally. I'm just saying that they count as having the basic loadout of Power Claw and Custom Shooter. Well, I've waffled for long enough, let's take a look at the mission details. We're playing Vital Intelligence, on a 72x48 board. For secondaries, I choose Stranglehold, Rod, and Assassinate, while the Templars take Engage, Rod, and Bring It Down. Here's deployment. I have 3 Mega Knobs and 1 unit of Squighogs way out in the bottom center, then everything else clustered in my corner, with most of the important stuff shielded by the big building. My Coptas, Storm Boys, and the Megadread are all in deep strike. A closer look at my corner. Here's Templar's top center. Helbrecht, the Apothecary, and the Blade Guard are all clustered around the Redemptor Dread. Here's a closer look at Thet, so you can see the frickin' awesome paint job on these guys. Over towards the right, the Venerable Dreads are either side of the tall building, and some infantry are holding his back objective. The Vanguard Veterans, Terminators, and Chaplain are all in deep strike.
Those people make me very scared.
A close-up of one of the Ven Dreads. Sweet. Right, preamble over, let's get into the battle. I get the first turn. My Wazbomb flies over to the right flank, and I range forward with both units of Squighogs, with the rightmost unit getting onto an objective. The Dragster also gets into position to fire at the Redemptor, after failing to roll high enough on its advance roll to teleport. In my left corner, the Gretchen Rod, and I play very cautiously with the Scrapjets for some reason, keeping them behind the obscuring terrain along with the Squig Buggy. The boys advance onto the objective whilst trailing back to keep the big mechs safe. The Mega Knobs advance up here. I move them up here because I forget that I didn't take Engage on all fronts.
You fucking idiot.
I guess I wanted them to go up this way anyway, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, right, yeah, whatever you say.
Here's a closer look at my right flank. In shooting, the Wazbomb targets the Venerable Dreadnought on the far side of the building, but leaves it with 1 wound remaining, thanks to the pesky 6-up Feel No Pain. Elsewhere, the Dragster does 3 wounds to the Redemptor, and the Squig Buggy kills a couple of infantry. Oh, and I actually entirely forget to fire the big mech.
Fucking up.
No points on the table yet, as I wasn't able to get on 3 objectives for Stranglehold, so that ends my turn. BT movement. He pushes forward with basically everything. Nothing complicated to explain here, you can see it all clearly. Shooting sees the rightmost unit of Squighogs whittled down, then eventually finished off by the Baby Dreads. Some small arms fire patters off the Mega Knobs, just doing a couple of wounds. And the Redemptor doesn't manage to do anything, I think. It must have rolled a low number of shots, or badly whiffed.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you are very lucky.
In the fight phase, although there's no combat, he does a cheeky devout push with the rightmost Venerable Dread, bringing it onto the objective. So in turn 1, the Templars get 2 points for engage on all fronts, making it 2-0. We'll have a first look at the score sheet at the end of the next turn. My turn 2. This is a hold 2 mission, and as I'm only on one objective at the start of the turn, my home 1, I get no primaries. Here's the board after movement. My beast boss calls a war, and surges towards the Redemptor Dread along with the remaining Squidhogs, as the nearby Meganobs head for the infantry on the other objective. Here's the beast boss and co. and the big unit of Meganobs. In my back corner, I'm able to string the scrapjets out to get 2 in range with their rockets, while 1 is far back enough to provide deep strike denial, as they won't all fit through the gap at the moment. The Gretchen spread out to stop any deep strikers being able to charge the Squig buggy. My boys just hang back to provide redundancy on the objective in case something weird happens. Over on the right, 1 unit of Storm Boys deep strikes and rods, and rather nicely is just about able to get a toe in on the objective. My smaller unit of Meganobs, who crept stealthily through the ruins last turn, as Meganobs are well known for, burst out and head for the Wounded Dread. And finally, the Wazbomb flies up into the top right, as my Defcopters come down over here too. Yeah, they're all broken to shit and I need to fix them. I'll do it soon.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Shooting sees the Redemptor Dread pummeled with rockets and brought down to 3 wounds remaining. The wounded Venerable Dread is slain, blows up, and does a mortal wound to one of the Meganobs, and the Defcopters kill a couple of these guys. The Wazbomb didn't do a great deal this turn, I think. The Big Mech at least manages to shoot, but it's nothing to write home about. So my Beast Boss and Squig Hogs all charge the Redemptor. Both units make it in, but the Squig Hogs went first, and lose 2 to a horrific overwatch. It pans out okay, though, as the Squigosaur makes short work of the Dread, chomping it in 2 with ease.
Big Chungus sends his regards.
Elsewhere, the Meganobs obviously completely muller the depleted unit of Marines, and the Defcopters come good, making their charge with the help of the ramming speed strat, and then murdering all the Marines over here. With 9 strength 6 AP -1 attacks each on the charge. Ah yeah, these Copters are mental. Here's the current score sheet. I successfully scored Stranglehold in turn 2, and have rotted twice, bringing my total to 7. Templars have 2 from engage in turn 1, so let's head into Templars turn 2. Having been shifted off every objective except the bottom right one, Templars score no primaries. There's not a ton of movement. What we see now is like frickin' half of the army coming from deep strike. On the far left, it's the Assault Termies, a unit of Vanguard veterans, and the Chaplain. In the center, another unit of Vanvets, which we realize are a bit too close to the Meganobs, and push them back later. And finally, the third unit of Vanvets comes down on the far right, to deal with the Copters.
I find myself increasingly more tense.
A close-up of the awesome-looking Vanguard veterans. And here's his Termies and other units across on the left flank. Meanwhile, Halbricht and the Blade Guard steel themselves and prepare to unleash the Emperor's justice upon the raging Orc warlord. There's not a lot of shooting of note, to be honest. The only thing I have a record of, is that the remaining assault cannon vent red over here put 2 wounds onto the Storm Boys, but I had a 6-up save with 1 guy. And I rolled double 6.
You have been stopped.
So, charge time. The Vanvets make it into the Copters. The enraged Dread charges the Storm Boys. The Termies make it into the Meganobs, with the help of the Chaplain's +2 to charge thingy, and the Blade Guard, Apothecary, and Halbrecht all dogpile my Beast Boss. Over on the far left flank, however, the Vanvets fail a charge into the Gretchen, even with +2 and a free reroll, leaving the Chaplain to crash into the wall of Gretchen on his own.
You have been stopped.
You just know this is gonna be an epic fight. Fearing the wrath of the Squigosaur, Halbrecht activates first, but whiffs and fails to cause any wounds, as the thick squiggy hide simply proves too much for him. The Meganob sees the opportunity, and pay 2 CP to interrupt. I then spend my last 2 CP to use the hit him harder strat, increasing their power claws damage to 3. A decent hit and wound roll later, followed by a whiffy save roll, and all 5 of the Terminators are slain.
This is huge!
The end result over here is that the Beast Boss split his attacks, doing 3 wounds to the Apothecary while the Squigosaur itself does 4 to Halbrecht. In return, the Blade Guard fail to do anything, and the Apothecary just manages to cause 1 wound. The Dreadnought kills 3 Storm Boys and takes a wound in return, and elsewhere, all of the Defcopters get wiped out, and the Chaplain just stomps on a couple of Gretchen, who do nothing to him, but roll insane bravery. The big 3 points for engage, and 3 points for taking out the Defcoptas, sees Black Templars take the lead at the end of turn 2, 8 points to 7. Orcs turn 3. The big unit of Meganobs, fresh from their shocking victory over the Terminators, are eager to crump more Humi skulls, and stop over towards Helbrecht. The other Meganobs and the Dragster square up to the Dreadnought down here, as the Storm Boys fall back onto a different objective. Out of shot on the left flank, the Scrapjets move across and prepare to blow up the general vicinity of the Vanguard veterans who failed their charge last turn. Finally, I bring the Megadread in from deep strike up here, and the second unit of Storm Boys comes down in the top right corner, ready to rod. In shooting, I think all that happens is the Scrapjets and Wazbomb between them only manage to kill 4 of the nearby Vanguard veterans. Straight on to the crumping phase, then. The Meganobs charge in and all attack Helbrecht, but they somehow just whiff, and Helbrecht survives on 1 wound.
What a prick.
Helbrecht retaliates with furious vengeance, doing much better this time and leaving the Beast Boss with just 2 wounds remaining. But the Raging Warlord finally proves too much to withstand, and in retaliation Helbrecht is cut down by the enormous cleaving blade, as the Squigosaur chomps the Apothecary in half.
Bingo.
Elsewhere, the end result over here is that the Dreadnought takes 6 wounds, but slays the 3 Meganobs. The Dragster fortunately survives. In by far the most epic and important combat of the game, on the left flank, the Chaplain continues to whittle down the Gretchen, taking no wounds in return, but once again they roll insane bravery for their morale test. In hindsight I have absolutely no idea why I didn't just fall back with the Gretchen, so my Scrapjets could charge in and muller the Chaplain.
Why did I do it?
Nobody knows. We don't know.
At least this way we get this awesome shot. Finally, the Blade Guard try valiantly to bring the Beast Boss down, but only manage a single wound, so the hard bastard's still alive.
Indestructible.
And oh yeah, the Megadread obviously failed to make its charge. I didn't have enough CP for ramming speed. I think I forgot to mention earlier, but I finally scored 5 primaries this turn. 7 from Assassinate, and another 4 from Rod, put me up to 23 points. BTT3. I'm kind of getting bogged down in the details on this report, I'll try to speed it up a bit. Again, no primaries are scored this turn. So, 1 unit of Van Vets heads down here to help the Dreadnought, and another one heads over towards the Meganobs. The lone surviving Van Vet over here just rods, I think, which is the second rod so far for the Templars. Again, almost no shooting to speak of, so straight on to combat. Here we see the end result after the Van Vets have charged into this ongoing maelstrom. They end up killing 3 of the Meganobs. The Van Vets take no casualties in return, but holy frickin' shizballs, the Squigosaur turns round and absolutely savages the Blade Guard. It gets a bunch of extra hits thanks to the Goff trait, and then rolls 3 6s in the wound roll, doing 9 frickin' mortal wounds on top of some other damage from the Beast Boss. All told just 1 Blade Guard is left, and the Beast Boss also survives to boot. Down here, the Van Vets and Dread destroy the buggy. And this combat rages on, with 2 more Gretchen falling, and they roll insane bravery again.
It's working! Don't you get it? It's absolutely working!
Points for all 3 secondaries put the Templars total up to 16 this turn, but with no primaries so far they're now lagging behind a little. My turn 4. Due to time constraints and the fading fortunes of the Templars we decide to end it after playing out this battle round. This turn, the big mech finally does something, and finishes off the last Dreadnought. Might be the first time he's ever done anything for me in a game. The Gretchen also do the right thing for once, and fall back, whereupon the Scrapjets proceed to annihilate the Chaplain, netting me some more Assassinate points. The Megadread charges the Marines in the building in the bottom left of this picture, and kills most of them, but it's pretty inconsequential. And over here, the melee rages on, but the furious rage of the Black Templars finally outmatches even that of the Beast Boss, and he finally succumbs to them. He had a good run.
Goodbye, old friend.
I nabbed another 5 for primaries this turn, thank fucking fuck, and finally scored Stranglehold once more. I had no one able to get to the top left corner to rod again, though. I end the turn on 34 points. BT turn 4, and there's not a whole lot left on the table. Unable to score enough points from Bring It Down, we just work out what else the Templars will score. They do finally get 5 for primaries, and are able to rod again, getting 8 from that secondary. They're also able to nab another 3 points for engage, which has turned out to be a surprisingly effective secondary for them this game. This brings their total at the end of the game, after painted scores, to 38, but the Orcs still just about edge of victory, with 44. Wow, what a great battle. Incredibly low scoring on the primaries, but if we'd played out the last turn I think we both were looking good to finally score 10 or even 15 each. Well, I think it was just an uphill struggle for this Templars list, with so little in the way of shooting to thin out my ranks. The Beast Boss was absolutely nuts, and I'm definitely okay with him getting a points hike in chapter approved. Maybe 30 points is a little steep, but what a gun do. Shame the Squighog boys didn't really get to do anything on their first outing. I thought I was way too overcautious with the scrapjets, though, especially in the face of so little shooting, and I'm not sure why I wasn't more aggressive with them. I think I was just too paranoid about giving up more points for Bring It Down. Anyway, that'll do it for another report. Thanks to my opponent for the great game, and thanks for watching. If you liked it, please like, comment, subscribe, and all that shiz. Goodbye.